plus yet.
24-hour plus.
Yeah, that's what they're calling it. So
24-hour plus.
So, I mean, Mr. Moni, when you mention about the government should maybe give local industries or companies the resources to be able to thrive and reach that level of success, reminds me of some of the, the posturing of the members of this administration. They say this is a start, 24-hour economy. They're talking about industrialization, agribusiness, and all that. What do you make of that?
Is it new? You see, I believe that we should stop the sloganism and...
At this point, is it still a slogan?
Yes,
since it's been launched and all?
But everything is launched.
They piloted in some areas.
Everything is launched.
Okay.
Look, the point is this. Let's differentiate the reality from the politics. The politics and the propaganda was that we're going to have a 24-hour economy. When the NDC brought up that 24-hour economy, it was a slogan. They didn't have any idea what that was. It was a slogan. Because when we keep asking them for what the 24-hour economy is, we had all sort of bizarre explanation for 24-hour economy. Today, when they launched that document, there is a sentence that I love, and I actually quoted it in a write-up that I did. And let me find that write-up, and I'll share it with you. You know, the write-up goes on to say that while the 24-hour economy, right, might brought up the thought of people working shift system.
It goes beyond that. I remember that. Yeah. It goes beyond that.
So when the 24-hour economy was brought up, the whole idea was that it was going to be a job creation because there's going to be multiple shifts. People are going to work at night. Even I don't know if it's true that Honorable Esiedun Ketia said this, but I heard there is an alleged reportage that he said that welders who work at night will get cheaper electricity, right? And today, if you read the document that they've put out as the policy document and what they said before the election, completely different narratives. Now, we've realized that when the meat was added to the bone, it's not really a 24-hour economy as we all said it was impossible, because you cannot mandate and policy people working at night. It's a demand and supply economy thing. What they've done is brought up a comprehensive document to say that, look, we want to now increase productivity. We want to increase export. We want to industrialize. We want to do all these things. But did we have to now come from a 24-hour economy slogan to that? No, because if you look in part, we've had Agenda 2020. You remember, back in those days, everything was Agenda 2020. Was it called Agenda 2020? Something 2020.
Yeah.
There was an IMF program for something 2020. Then Danado came and said Ghana beyond aid. Then we've now have 24-hour plus economy. The most important thing is that if you now put a document on the table and now you tell me that you need $4 billion to implement, for me straight away is defeated. And
why?
We went to IMF for $3 billion, and that disbursement was done over 3 years. This is a government that comes out of IMF in May next year, right? Already it's got a big push, which it says is $10 billion, right? And now you bring a 24-hour plus economy, which is $4 billion. Add that is $14 billion. President Mahama only has 4 years. So after next year, May, he only have 2.5 years. How is he going to basically do that project?
Well, they said a time span to expend this $4 billion is 18 months.
No, but the point is that how do you just oppose that with the big push? So the $4 billion, how are they going to get $4 billion in 18 months? And the people keep saying that it's private sector led. Trust me, no private sector is in a hurry to come into Ghana and spend $1 billion. If you know of any project that anybody has come into Ghana, spend $1 billion without government guarantee or government in the PPP where government guarantee a major part of that investment, I can wait, you can tell me.
But that's what they're doing, no?
Yes, but that's the point. The government cannot do that. You see, that's the thing. When we come out of
$1 billion from China to set up
that is G2G. That's different from PPP. Government to government investment is different from PPP. PPP is private companies coming in and spending money on infrastructure-led projects. That no private company is in a hurry to come to Ghana and spend $1 billion in the next 2-3 years. Because you see, your capacity to lend, your capacity to borrow is limited by the head borrowing of your sovereign. So today, the sovereign is what? Is B- with a positive outlook. So now, if you go into the market to now and look for business, all the companies in this country, the multinationals, they are now using their mother companies or their parent companies to get financing because the companies in Ghana cannot borrow cheaper than the sovereign rating.
So, Kwadwo, what are you saying?
What I'm saying is that it's not feasible.
It's not feasible.
It's not feasible.
Okay.
It's a beautiful document
So
they've put together. What they should do is hand it over to the developmental plan people. What are they called? The National Development Plan. The National Development Plan Commission. Give it to them. Let them now find a way to incorporate some of the brilliant ideas they have for a long-term agenda for Ghana. But there's nothing that can be there are a lot of things that can be done in less 2.5 years. But I don't think anybody's going to see that transformational change. The lake, voter lake, and please.
You know what I like to say? Posterity will judge us all. At the end of this tenure, if they are unable to achieve this, ambitious,
3 years ago,
Ghanaians will be the same people who chastise them.
Well, that's fine. But 3 years ago,
better to plan and fail than to fail to plan.
It's true. I agree with that. But 3 years ago, when they brought a beautiful plan for TOR working, I stood on national television and said that TOR will not have any operationality by December 7, 2025. And it doesn't work. Some of us, yenya beifo. We are not, but we know because the practicality is not there.
It's important to spare the goals
with practicality.
Yes, with the logic of reality.
Yes.
But at the same time, we should also look at the optimistic side of the whole plan. So it's a process, not a destination.
Okay.
And this underlines the need again for the media to sharpen their focus on every aspect of 24+.
Okay. Kwadwo, so you are saying that they should give this 24-hour economy plus policy to the National Development Planning Commission to
incorporate it in our long-term agenda.
That's how we can achieve.
And that is how, because it's not a short term.
All right.
2 years is short term. This is a medium to long-term plan.
Okay.
A medium to long-term outlives President Mahama.
All right. So